Traditionally on the show, we do a draft. And that draft is where we go through a few topics and we might count down 5. And Grant Marshall and I did our favorite third places. Mike Williams and I did sports moments. And we've had all these drafts across the board, but we've been reflecting a lot on this particular episode and talking about journeys. So I just wanted to put a little challenge out to you. Instead of doing a draft, I wanted to ask you maybe 2 or 3 aha moments since the Breaking Bread Village is formed, or maybe things that stuck out to you that might have been a surprise, or just those exclamation point moments that you've experienced.
Yeah, that's a great question, because so when you go into this work, right, you hope that there's impact. I mean, that's the whole point, right? That people are impacted and there's some type of evolution or change.
And the story has to write itself. There's not that ending. It's not like you go into a play and you already know what's going to transpire. You have no idea what's about to transpire.
You have no idea what people are going to say. You have no idea how people are going to respond. And we don't go into it with any type of expectation of change, right? The idea is that we hope that people take something from it. But when those moments do happen, even though you hope for it, when it happens, it's still like, oh, it actually happened, right? You're like, oh, this is great. And so we have people who, because I strategically place people at the table, right? So people sit next to each other who have very differing perspectives and opinions, right? And I think for me, one of the moments that really stuck out is when 2 of the people at the table, we call them guests invited to the table, and once they realized that, oh, I want to know more about you, they met up for coffee later, right? And kept the conversation going, became Facebook friends, and still keep in touch. That to me is a aha moment for me, right? That wow moment, because these are 2 people that would have probably never been in the same spaces together. They would have never really looked to have conversation, and now they are. We had another lady who came to a show that had not spoke to her brother for 2 years because of who he voted for in an election. And after our show, she emailed me and said that she reached out to him to talk, because she loves her brother, right?
Of course.
And so those are the type of moments that really say, okay, look, we can keep going with this. We can keep going, because there is real change. Because a lot of times people always ask for stuff that you can kind of quantify, and they want data and they want all this stuff, which is great. Data is wonderful. But for us, a lot of the work and change that we see, you can't quantify. Like it's literally just people realizing, maybe I was going about this wrong, or maybe both of us can be right at the same time, or maybe I can honor where you are just like you can honor where I am. We had a gentleman that shared his story about why he keeps guns in his house, right? There's a lady that does not like guns in the house. She thinks no one should have it. And he told a story about how when he was younger, someone came into his home and violated his mother, and he felt helpless because he was a young, child that could not defend his mother. And he vowed that he would always keep something in his home to protect his house. That's why he feels, And so the point is that we don't have to agree with each other's walk, our journey, but we can at least respect it. We can at least listen. And those are the moments like that where when people, you see that change on their face at the table and they go, oh, okay. And a lot of that defensiveness kind of goes down. Those are the moments that mean everything to me. And I'm like, okay, it's actually happening, right? And so, yeah.
And that's so important for us to move forward as a community. And at Maxwell's Midland above all is, I always call it in a community like an emotional infrastructure initiative, where we are trying to build the emotional infrastructure of our community.
Yeah.
And how are we reinforcing that we can have connections across the board to accomplish great things?
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, I'm hoping everybody wants our community to succeed.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. That's the hope, right?
And to be able to say the word succeed too. But anyway,
I know.
struggling a little bit. Words are tough.
Okay.
But
no,
to be able to foster this place where we
Yeah.
can all work together and move the community forward, and those conversations are so important, especially in gnarly political times, honestly.
I know. And to acknowledge, right, that's where that intellectual, because you're talking about like emotional maturity, right?
Right.
And when you think about like intellectual humility, it's the idea that success may look different, right? My success for me, for a community, maybe look different than yours.
Right.
And that's okay. But let's talk through it. Let's see why. Because I really, truly believe that most of us want the same things in regards to like being, healthy, safe, feeling good about yourself.
Yeah.
All those look different though, right? They look different for different people. Safety for one is like the gentleman having weapons in the home. Someone else's safety is not, right? So we still want safety, but it looks different. So, but if we don't talk about it, an open space to actually like listen to people as opposed to trying to debate and argue, then we'll never get to any type of growth or change. Yeah, we don't take that time.
Awesome. And, we're going to end this episode the same way we end every single episode. And I have to ask you, looking forward at the future of Midland.
Yeah.
What is something that you look forward to for our community?
Yeah. Just what I just said, that we understand that our journeys may look different, that navigating through life may look different, success may look different, but just take the time to have a cup of coffee, right? Sit down and talk. And to me, that is how those ripple effects take place. Like, I know sometimes people look for these grand acts. Sometimes it's very simple. Sit down, have a discussion, ask questions, be curious, don't make assumptions, and respect a person's position. We're not here to change your mind. We're here to listen to you and value you as a human. So that's how I look at it. I know that sounds like kind of broad, but that is my hope every day for Midland, that people take more time to have that cup of coffee and exchange that dialogue as opposed to beating each other up. So
subscribe wherever you consume media. Max Loves Midland is your entertainment, resources, and collective improvement hub for Midland County. Plan your next adventure in Midland at maxlovesmidland.com.